Hello, my name is Tom. Welcome to Videos for Adam. This is a Lunar Eternal Blue unworked version 2.0 on RetroArch Genesis Plus GX V174 emulator. I do own the original US game, which I got back in the 90s as a teenager, and I did beat the game at the time. This version is more true to the Japanese difficulty, which was a little easier. The save system in the US release was terrible, and here they fixed it. I will be reading dialogue, but try to keep my commentary to a minimum. Standing silently in space, the world in the shadow of the blue star was once a lonely, barren place, unfit for habitation. However, Athena took pity on that world and transformed it into a place of beauty and wonder. She called the new world Lunar. Time and circumstance soon forced Athena to populate Lunar with people from the blue star. And just as on the blue star, life was held in a delicate balance. Through times of peace, war, chaos, and battle, the blue star loomed large as the only constant. Thousands of years passed, burying the origin and purpose of the blue star in the sands of time. Eventually, the inhabitants of Luna forgot why the blue star was there or how it came to be.
This is not the time for my awakening. Something's gone terribly wrong. Oh no, Lunar!
Did you say something, Ruby?
Oh, great. Don't tell me you're hearing voices now.
But...
Hurry up and get the dragon's eye. The timer's almost run out on the trap.
Trap? What trap?
Whoa! This trap!
Why didn't you tell me about that earlier?
I did, but you were too wrapped up in getting the jewel to listen.
Oh yeah, the jewel. Hold on, I've almost got it.
Hurry, hero!
There! I got it!
What's that rumbling?
Oh no! The exit's closing!
Let's get out of here! Oh, hero! Don't die on me! You just can't die!
I'm okay, Ruby. It's just a few bruises.
Okay, that's it. No more exploring for us. I've had it. We always end up getting in some sort of trouble.
Shh! Ruby! Listen.
What? Ah!
Come on, Ruby, let's get out of here! Well, looks like you've caught us in another messy situation. Oh, by the way, if you haven't figured it out, my name is Hero. And the flying cat is named Ruby. She said she's actually a baby red dragon, but I don't know if I quite believe her. She doesn't care though. We've been friends for what seems like forever. My grandfather Gwyn is an archaeologist who taught us how to explore ancient ruins like this. Well, not exactly like this. Grandpa'd have a coronary if he saw me in this kind of danger, but you get the idea. I think it's so cool that these dungeons and ruins that time forgot can be found and explored by someone like me. This world is full of wonderful legends. The Blue Star, from which our ancestors supposedly came. Tales of dragons and heroic dragon masters. A magic city that flew in the sky. And the goddess of love and beauty, Althena. All those legends and places have to be true. I believe them more with every step I take in places like this. The world I live in today is the result of things that happened long ago. Someday, I'll gather enough information from ruins like these to prove that, and maybe even get to see the goddess Althena.
Hero! Bust a move! I think we lost him! Whoa!
Whew, that's too close for comfort. Infernal ghouls, booby traps, free drugs. But he scored a big reward this time, and that makes it all worthwhile. Oop, better be getting back to Grandpa's house before he leaves.
What's that noise? Wow, Hero! Get a load of that! It's incredible! But what the rocky ship, but it moves without wind or sails.
Hey, you! Yes! You over there! What are you doing in this area?
Who does this Joker think he is? We might ask you the same thing, mister!
I wasn't talking to your cat! I was talking to you, boy!
Hello? Time for your eye exam! I am not a cat!
Knock it off, Ruby. You're gonna get us in trouble. My name is Hero, and this is Ruby. Identify yourself.
Certainly. I am White Knight Leo, leader of Althena's Guard, and this is the dragon ship Destiny. Now then, listen up. You kids need to evacuate this area. A confrontation is about to take place. I don't want to see any civilians accidentally caught in the middle of this thing. Return to your home immediately. Move it! Helmsman, set a new course. Destination, the Blue Spire.
Ha! That guy seemed a little full of himself if you ask me. But he did say he was the leader of Althena's Guard. I wonder if that's the same Althena you told me about. Well, no telling now. He's gone. And good riddance. Anyway, we'd better get back home before Grandpa comes looking for us.
Hero, remember, this is the rock that almost ran us over. Can't get back into the dragon ruins. At least not this way, it's blocked. Besides, we better be getting back to the grandpa. I'm worried if we're not home soon. Hero gained a level. Alright, Hero. That's going by itself. I can't control how fast that goes, so. I know a good man has you. Why don't you put this over and tell it to Athena's guard? Doesn't girl want to achieve freedom for 17 years? You don't work for nerves. Finish your brother and speak only in spoken terms. It's an open offer. Oh, safety. You should stay away from the blue spire. My mind, he was an arrogant fuck, wasn't he? Can't believe that the goddess comes to us in its shield and is giving orders directly to Lord. Very strange. That's supposed to be as this destroyer. Something's up, boy. That's for certain. I don't like this. I want dead, no, not. Dear hero, my boy, something's happened. Hurry, guy! Look at that, hero, look. See the blue strange light from the blue spire? Looks like it goes to the heavens towards the blue star. I've lived near the spire for a coon's age, and I've never in all my years seen anything quite like this. Wonder if a destroyer has come to our world, as Leo's been saying. If that's true, then we're all going to be in a mess of trouble. Then I'd better go to the Blue Spire and see just what's happened. What? You've been taken with a fit of insanity? If that's a destroyer in that tower, he'll make short work of you. But, Grandfather, we have to know so we can warn Leo. Oh, yes, I suppose you do have a point there. Well, then, go get my weapons in the basement, and I'll get the things we'll need from the house. I'm not letting you go in that place by yourself. That's for certain. Hero, are you sure that going to the Blue Spire is such a good idea? I mean, what if there is a destroyer in there now? Hero, I'm afraid of what we'll find in the Blue Spire. I hope Grandpa knows what he's doing, because I've got a bad vibe about this whole thing. strongest protectors since Althena's last rebirth of the world president without a Dragon Master. Last Dragon Master was long Alex. Lunar brief history. Once Lunar was a barren world and it was no life. Blue Star was a place of death and decay. She blessed it with her power and imprisonment. Pleased with her work, she brought people to the stand from the Blue Star. Green Dragons, Volume 1. There are 4 dragons of Althena. They are white, red, black, and blue. The power of Althena and the dragons is what protects us both from evil. These are the only true dragons in the world. Vane, the flying city of Althena. The city of Vane once floated above the clouds, but magic Emperor Galleon used his evil power to blast it from the heavens. I knew I'd put it away for safekeeping, and here it is. Put this jewel in the eye of the dragon. The entrance should open. Here, put this in your pocket. See if the left dragon will open the way. Be sure to equip the weapon in the chest. It's no use to us in your bag, my boy. Okay, let's get moving. Blue Spire is to the north, and we cross the bridge. Okay. Now the Guardians of the Blue Spire will trouble the tower is threatened. Probably better not to tempt fate, though. You better step away. Back to the Dragonite Jewel. Look at the jewel in this ideal door. It's good. Dragonite Jewel in the left socket. That's strange. Or should it become visible? Very, very strange. Here I'll put the right Dragonite Jewel in the socket. Eureka! The entrance to the blue spire. I don't know you found the other dragon's inside jewel, hero. What else haven't you told your grandpa? No time for that. Let's get inside while the door factory. and gain a level. Yay! Defense 2, Wisdom 1, Magic Endurance 1, Luck 1, Agility 2, Range 2. Very nice, Gwen. Good job. Hero gain a level. Attack power up. Defense up. Wisdom up 7, Magic Dirts 1, Luck 2, Agility 2. Very nice. going to be shorter than that, so I'll just edit it down a little bit. That's the problem. It was fun, right? We'll be doing this again. What are you doing?